Cool. Can everybody see?
No, we can't. Are you trying to share your screen, Hero?
Oh, yes, I am. Yeah, give me a sec. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Cool.
That's good.
Cool. Yep. Welcome to SIP call number 7, 5th of August, 2022. Today we'll give you a quick update and we'll also talk a little bit about the CAP, consideration advisory boards, part of the SIP process, really important part of the process, to be honest. And we'll open the floor for everybody, see if they got any thoughts on their mind. So this week, SIP updates. Just for those who haven't been here before, like Gente, for example, I think, and probably other. So in this call, we give a SIP update. So what's going on in the SIP world, like whether there's any ideas or proposals, what are the latest status of the important SIP that's in the pipeline. And you can also use this opportunity to propose your idea, share your idea, gauge interest, whether people in the community needs that stuff or think that's useful. And you can find different people to collaborate with on this call. And we'll have like topic every week, like previously we had like Taproot. So that's the, mining centralizations and stuff like that. So yeah, this is what the call is about. So a quick update. So SIP currently we have recommended for comments, which is on the Stacks forum. So Stacks forum is the place where everybody can comment and review stuff. The whole Stacks community. It's easier access to GitHub. So we recommend going that place for any early conversations. So SIP 13 currently is being accepted, but being accepted doesn't mean like it has to happen. So it still needs to be reviewed by the steering committee. And in the future, we'll add in the process to consider the caps. Currently, they are kind of like a little bit crossing over, but we'll make a better process for them. So SIP 13 is Marvin 4 days ago said it's ready for review. So we'll use this opportunity to get the caps to review SIP 13 and 616, SIP 16, 18, 19, they're all ready to be activated, ready to be voted, basically. So if the votes happen and everybody agree they're good, they will be part of they will be ratified and be part of the official SIPs. Yeah, so that's where generally the top level where things at. And there is at earlier stage stuff, so things in drafts. So Fridger stuff touched on last week. So it's about profile credential that could be integrated into wallets. So you have a verified profile with the wallet. So it becomes more, I think, more useful and more functionality than just sending money here and there and staking stuff. So it becomes more social media friendly, I guess. And you can integrate in different like credentials, experiences and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's an interesting one in the pipeline. That's early stage. So if you like it or want something like you think you could contribute, feel free to comment there. So there's a GitHub issue which Igor opened was just about where the documentation is on steering committee. So I touched on earlier, currently the SIT steering committee and the CAP advisory board, they are a little bit merged right now. So there's only like mostly just technical guys on the board. So that's why we don't have anybody really on the steering committee officially down as the names on GitHub. So currently just Jude. So in the future, when we have more, once I confirm, get all the caps names ready, and steering committee, I'm also looking for people. So in the near future, or not too far in the future, there will be the names properly written and documented on GitHub officially for everyone. So that's just something that came up this week. It's quite valid, but we don't have those names. But yeah, this will be addressed. So some earlier stage stuff. So there's a new one, renaming hyperchain. I think there's probably some legal things they like to avoid or something. So they want to change the name to something else. So this one, they are thinking subnet, but they are open. Well, it's really a community decision, I think, at the end of the day. So if you want to have your say, in what name do you think we should name this hyperchain technology? Please comment on GitHub. Oh, sorry, I meant Stacks forum is a good place, or just like, like on Twitter, even you can comment back, reply back to Hero. But yeah, whatever way, I would encourage everyone to speak out. Otherwise, decisions will be made for you. So yeah, here's an opportunity, good opportunity. There's a post about that. So interesting stuff like Bitcoin address derivation path. It's all about Bitcoin NFT with Bitcoin addresses. So that one I'm very excited about. So that's also very early stage that we are asking people for commenting. And there's minor centralization. That's an ongoing thing that will be addressed slowly with participation and discussions. I think they're already near a stage where people, or Ryan or Maddie can, or even Trust Machine will be making proposals to improve that aspect so that stacks can be more decentralized or easier way for small and medium miners to participate. So yeah, that's top level SIP activities. So just to sort of recap on for people what sort of conversation that take place in this on this call. So we talk about centralization of mining, the actual voting process of the SIP. So when SIPs are later on, that has to be voted by miners, by exchanges. I think if you were here last November, you remember like people, different entities will ask people to vote, ask people to conversate around that. So yeah, we talk about important stuff like that as well. Ecosystem DAO is something that Marvin's been and Mike is working on that will help facilitate the DAO process that can be used even for DeFi, for Chente, for example, or for the greater Stacks ecosystem voting process. So that's quite cool to watch out. Stacks 2.1, we had Jude talk about 2.1. So more conversations and more updates will come from Stacks Foundation about that, and from Jude. Taproot, Bitcoin NFT addresses, mining. So yeah, so here is actually really great place to get really key information about the Stacks core technology development. So again, so time to present about the CAPS. So CAPS stands for consideration advisory board. And you can find out the exact details on GitHub if you go look at SIP 000. So what is CAP? Is everyone okay? Anybody got questions so far? Oh, cool. Okay, I'll take that, yes. So caps, what are caps? So you'll notice during the process of from a SIP idea to when it gets finalized, we basically have to have some sort of vetting process along the way. So at the moment, some of these are sort of merged into one, but now we're trying to make that process even better, more comprehensive, and more involved from the community and from different entities. It's not just Hero, it's not just Foundation, it's actually the community plus the big entities plus everyone in the community, the users as well. So we'll have SIP editors, SIP caps comes in here, where after it gets past the SIP editor, it'll get handed to caps people, and then it will get handed to steering committee, who are made of like the key people like Jude, and I'm searching others. And then it gets to later down the path. So it's a really we're trying to make that more decentralized and more comprehensive process, vetting process, so that everybody in the ecosystem and outside ecosystem can be rest assured like our process is stringent, world reviewed. It's not just like anybody come up with a random idea can get through. Anybody with want to change a protocol so easily can get through. If they really want to change the protocol, propose, and people, the community will review and have to say. So that's the sort of where the cap fit in to the whole overall process. But it needs to be reviewed from different angles: economics, ethics, governance, technical, diversity. All these are the caps they'll be viewing from that angle. And actually you can create new caps as long as you have 3 people, and that can be reviewed. So it's not strictly restricted to these ones, but this is a good start. I think we feel like these 5 angles are a great way to review any SIP coming in. So the SIP Stacks 2.1 will involve all of these panels, and they give advice to the steering committee on whether they think it's a SIP that should be passed or shouldn't be passed. Yes, so that is so we're trying to gather people with the right expertise for each panel, but not just anyone, but people who's been in Stacks ecosystem, who have contributed, who have good credential, good reputation, and also very well knowledged. So here is a great place to really directly contribute to the core Stacks, and help make Stacks history, to make your mark in Stacks history. So a little bit, so for example, you will be publishing something like this as a group. Some document you'll probably meet, you'll discuss offline, online, in real time, and then you'll publish something like some comments from you guys. This is the official doc that will be published for all the community to see, and whether you pass or you approve or you reject. So what about the time commitment? I know that's a question that everybody asks me. So I broke it down into sort of three angles. I would say sometimes we have SIPs coming through, and it may or may not even involve some of the panels, because if we have a SIP about the ethics side of things, it's not really to do with technical. So we don't really need the technical panel to review this. So it's so it depends on the SIP. The big SIPs like Stacks 2.1 or Stacks 2.05 from last year require everybody, but that only happens really like once a year, twice at most. Like it's even unlikely to happen twice in a year. So the big SIP only happens roughly 9 months, every 9 months. So you can probably expect the big and occasion review of the SIP happen to every now and then, and each SIP may require between maybe 3 to 6 hours when you count all the reviews and admins and stuff. And there are other smaller SIPs, could range between 2 hours or something. I think it depends, but just to sort of give you a rough idea to work with, and some sort of medium to sometimes sort of category, I call it, is a regular SIP call attendance like today. One member from each CAP should attend a SIP call. So if we have it weekly, at least one of you of the 3 or of the 4 people on the panel should join this call, so that on every call we can all get the updates together, and we can all work together to review. If anybody got any SIP ideas, then we can chime in from different angles to facilitate that SIP author and get feedback. So I probably say 4 weeks in the month, so probably one hour per month that you have to attend, 1 to 2 hours, depending how many times you attend. You can work that out amongst yourself. And then there's a sort of ongoing participation we would like from the SIP members. Every SIP member is to be actively engaged on daily, weekly Stacks forum, GitHub. Maybe in the future could incorporate some SIP channels in Discord, maybe. But yeah, just like whenever there's anything related to your angle, your expertise, please chime in to those posts, comments, or share your expertise with the writer. So yeah, so subject to changes and iteration. I'm sure as we go through this year and next year, we'll make this process even more clear and more comprehensive, so that everybody is really clear what is required. So yeah, a big alpha to who we have got already. So I've found quite a few people so far. Everybody's basically sort of at least quite relatively confirmed. So we have Pavitra, we have Aaron, we have Bryce, we have Zan from Damon Technology, we have Maddie, and I'm hoping Chanta can contribute, because she has kind of said yes, but yeah, if we can all ask her, please, that would be great. I'm thinking like Chante or Hadam, someone from the DeFi, because they have so much experience in the traditional finance, in economics, and now tokenomics in DeFi. I think it's a great fit for this panel. And we have governance from Jason, and we found a new person from StackerDAOs, Orlando. So he's the one who created StackerDAO. So yeah, so he's basically doing that day in, day out, governance proposals and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he'll be good for that. Harold, Juliet, ethics, Julia created a code of conduct, I think. So diversity, we found Shannon, and Eli Herf is he works for Gamma. He's a community manager or social media, but he basically is like literally everywhere in the Stacks community. So I thought he might be a good voice for the diversity cap. And Werner for the ethics. I'm still talking to Werner exactly where he would like. So yeah, a little bit TBC on that. But this is who we got right now. So yeah, so basically I'm really assembling like the best of Stacks, the Avengers. So yeah, so that's it. Any questions? And here's now open floor for everybody.
Thanks for explaining that so thoroughly, Hero.
Let me check the questions. Aqua, yes, I am aware of that inquiry about the initial steps. So that's something I'm just looking at the chat. So yeah, that's something I'll be working on over the next few weeks, I mean, a few months. I would say the current priority is to find all these caps first. So yeah, so that's why you haven't seen that being done yet. But once we have all the caps in, help on the steering committee, get some people in place first, and then those we'll lay out the process better. So I'm seeing another question from Akva. So what is a diversity cap? So basically, diversity cap is about getting people who are not typically involved in Web3, involving everybody. So actually, it's about like evangelizing Stacks, advertising, outreach work for different areas of the community. Could be outreach to people who don't have crypto in their country, or people like the artists sort of type of people who may not know how to do crypto Web3 or know how to mint an NFT on Stacks. Yeah, so I think there is, yeah, just like different sort of outreaching, I would say, to the community that you may probably not typically like software guys. But yeah, I don't know if that answers the question.
I think it would also include, well, so the diversity cab would be evaluating a SIP to see whether it would, either increase diversity or work against diversity. And diversity can mean many things. So if it's a SIP that serves like a very specific group of people and benefits a specific group of people, looking at whether it would work against other groups. So if it's unfairly benefiting a certain group over others, I would assume that the diversity cab would have a lot to say about how a SIP can be improved.
Yeah, cool. Chente, do you have any question?
No. Should I have prepared a question? Should I prepare?
No, just wondering if you,
yeah,
if I've explained enough for you to understand what's involved.
Absolutely, yes, it was very, very clear.
So are you on?
So like Hiro mentioned, we're still figuring out the standard operating procedures for all the cabs, and the cabs have a certain amount of autonomy and can sort of decide how often they want to meet and how they want to operate. I think that at the very least, the expectation of cabs is that they would be publishing commentary on SIPs that have reached accepted status. So there are a couple in the pipeline now that we're going to work with cabs to evaluate, and then go public with those comments, right? Because the idea is that CABs are using their background, experience, expertise, and knowing that they have the best interests at heart for the best interest for the community at heart. Their commentary is supposed to serve as guidance, not only to the steering committee, but to the community as well, right? Because everybody's really busy. It's not expected that every community member is going to read every SIP every single time. It's a long and arduous process. But if you can have, you know, a few bullet points from a trusted group, like one of the CABs that says, like, you know, it's going to serve the community well for these reasons, or, you know, we should reconsider whether we accept the SIP for these reasons, that would save everybody a lot of time, and it would just be helpful to the community overall.
Yeah, and I can add a little bit of that too, since I'm a part of the governance CAB and we've been active for at least one SIP. So we've kind of been through at least what would be the bare bones of the process. So when you're putting together a consideration advisory board, two things you end up doing is you end up choosing a chairperson who's going to be responsible for just making sure that if there's a SIP in the track, you're getting everybody together to meet, you're publishing the details, etc. And alongside your members, you'll also have like a set of considerations or bylaws. And that's how you define, as a CAB, what type of SIPs you would review or what type of changes would be impactful for that group. So I dropped 2 links in the chat here just to show like where the CAB details are on the StacksGov repo. And you can also see our governance CAB. You can see the bylaws that we have set through the link there as well in the governance file. And that's also where we keep our meeting minutes. So you see that in the minutes folder there as well. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, so really it's just a group of people that you're saying we'll get together, we will review these items, and we will make our official opinion known to the ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's thanks for so much help, Jason. Yeah, so definitely I think it's a really key process that we have many different experts from their domain coming together, share their experience, and offer their perspective and advice to the steering committee, because the steering committee cannot know everything about each field. So it is really important that these important stuff get through with proper reviews. Yeah, so yeah, Chente, so yeah, I know you have to go, but thanks for coming, really. Yes, good to have you. Yeah, so maybe I'll just keep going. So now is if anybody got any other CAB question, please feel free. Or now you can also just share any sort of anything on your mind about SIP related stuff. Or if somebody got a SIP idea they want everybody to hear about, you can, here is a place where you can advocate for your stuff.
Hey, Hero.
Hey.
I was just going to ask about SIP 13 and the timeline. What would we expect? How long we'd expect to take it to go through the various stages?
Like, is there a date that you need it by or something? Or
no, but I mean, I guess the sooner it's
okay
ratified, if it's going to get ratified, the better.
Yeah.
So that it takes uncertainty out.
Have you guys agreed on the activation criteria for that? You have, right? Or that's been outlined? Yeah.
Yeah, I think where it got left off was Jude asked for criteria, and then Marvin put in, and then Jude replies, is it ready? And then I think only recently Marvin said it's ready to review. So I think we just have to nudge the Jude and the technical guys to review that. So I don't see big issue with that, to be honest. But what I would like is to try, now we have some sort of technical cap, and to use Jason's experience, the process, how they got together, how they published their official findings or reviews. Yeah, just something like that. So yeah, I would like to put through the technical cap officially. That's it. So I don't know the exact date, but maybe we can speak to Jude.
Yeah, I know this is being recorded, so I have a lot of confidence in saying this, I guess, but I think it's reasonable to expect ratification by the end of the quarter or shortly after.
Cool. Thanks.
Oh, Hero, if new folks are interested in joining CABS, what's the best way to get started? Is it just to reach out to you?
Yeah. So I have specific for CABS. Yes, I think the best way to reach out to me, or Jenny, but probably me right now. But yeah, I think reach out and we can see what how full we are with the cap. But I think there's still spaces on most caps. So if you are interested, and yeah, just get in touch. And you can read more about them on GitHub, about each caps. Go to SIP000. But if you already know your interest, reach out to me for the caps. If you even if you cannot be on the cap for whatever reason, right? Maybe because it's just too many people or whatever reason, you can still be a SIP editor. So essentially, you're still contributing, but more from sort of not the cap, like where you have to put out statements. And some of the things like you can do already is like commenting on Stacks forum, commenting on GitHub, those type of stuff. The cap people, members already kind of have to do in some ways, shape or forms. So yeah, so even if you cannot be cap, like being a SIP editor, so I haven't touched on too much about that this session, but yes, so that's another opportunity to sort of more formally engage with the SIP process just by being a SIP editor. And I'm sort of, that's another area where I'm searching for like roughly like 20 people for. So yeah, I hope that helps. Okay, so I'll just trying to keep this session short. So just to let everybody know the things I'm working on as well. So what's going on in the SIP, how I'm helping the SIP process, sort of in what's going on in the SIP arena. So I'm assembling all the caps. I'm also looking for steering committee. So yeah, that, and also at the same time, I'm looking for SIP editors. So there's quite a few things going on. And also next week, just to let everybody know, I will be inviting, there will be a big panel of Jude, Trevor, Ken from Experts, who brought up the topic of derivation path and how we could better interoperate with Bitcoin address and Stacks address. So plus we had Mark from Megapond, who is super NFT experienced. And we'll have Jason as well, who's looked into various stuff as well. So he'll be my co-host for next Friday. So expect a big banter next week about Bitcoin NFT addresses, using Bitcoin addresses and etc. Because that's a big unlock. I think it's probably worth discussing. So yeah, I'll put out official announcement about that soon. So yeah, watch out for that next Friday. But it's going to be at 10 a.m. EST because Ken is running on Hong Kong time. So yeah, we don't want to make it too late for him. So yeah, so other stuff, SIP labeling, Stacks forum on Discord, on GitHub issues, all these things we should be getting on with. A bit of templates of questions for different places. And also ecosystem DAO that Mike touched on. Well, Mike didn't touch on, but yeah, Mike and Marvin's working on that can help us with SIP voting. So yeah, if you want to get involved, just or this Stacks forum, GitHub, contact me. Or yeah, I think I'm probably the best person to contact right now. SIP editors, SIP CAP members. In the future, we'll have more. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Hiro. Any other questions or comments from folks? Otherwise, we can give you 20 minutes of your time back. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you at next week's meeting. Just the meetings where we've got guest speakers are always really great and provide lively discussions. So I really encourage you to join. I also say this every week, but we will be sharing SIP recording soon. We had a really great discussion with Maddie Stacks a couple weeks ago, and we also have an informative one on the 2.1 upgrade. So look out for those. All right. Thanks, Hiro. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.